Welcome back to the second episode of Todd is Pod, the hardcore cocktail hour with the godfather of extreme, Tod Gordon. Todd, how you doing today?
Devious Dark, what'd you drink?
Salute. We're on our second week here on Todd is Pod. We love all the feedback, all the comments we got over at podcastheatwrestling.com. Keep bringing the feedback. Let us know how we're doing. And there's a lot to talk about again here on our episode of Todd is Pod. First off, we want to make sure, Frank Namoli, thank you so much for the opening music. As always, make sure you're following Todd on social media on Instagram and Twitter or X at ECW Tod Gordon. ProWrestlingTees.com story is up and running. Get your Todd is Pod t-shirt available now. Bring it to the conventions, bring it to the shows. Make sure you're getting Todd to sign it. Make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you turn on your notifications. Hit the like button. Drop the comments on all the videos, clips that we're posting up there. Want to make sure that you can become a part of a live episode you do not want to miss. And when you hang out with us, you got to make sure that you're always bringing your cocktails for the hardcore cocktail hour.
Gotta do it.
So we're back for the second week. What do you think we're going to start talking about as we get everybody to hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for the episodes of Todd is Pod in the future?
Well, they want to see Devious Derek drink.
I can do that. I will never say no. Salute.
I know you have a guest star this week. Obviously you had him last week and coming back.
Yeah.
We can get him if we can get it back.
Yeah,
but
hopefully.
Going forward, things I want to talk about with you. Jim Cornette.
Oh.
Got a lot to say about Jim Cornette.
Sure we do.
Your other podcast partner, Eric is Pod. Is that what they call it? No. But yeah, Eric Bischoff. Eric Bischoff. I got a lot to say about Eric Bischoff. Sure. Paul Heyman. Vince McMahon. I got a lot to say about a lot of people. And what I'm going to say are things I haven't said before. Sure. And I'm going to have people going, whatever they do. Yeah. Titillate. And of course, there's always going to be the battle of the Daves. You, me, and I'll win. Yeah. Dave Shearer, Dave Meltzer. That'll be a whole nother episode. But I love the face you're making right now because, hey, it sucks being the guy who's got to be the guy you're in right now.
That's okay. We'll get there. But listen, we also want to know what you want to hear as well. So drop your questions, drop your feedback, drop your comments in our videos and our clips. Tweet at me, at Derek Sabato, tweet at Todd, at ECW Tod Gordon. We want to hear anything and everything you guys want us to discuss. And again, make sure you hit like, subscribe, turn on your notifications, and make sure that you are part of the Todd Squad here on Todd is Pod. And speaking of the Todd Squad.
The Todd Squad.
Yeah, the man back. The daddy of them all. You know who it is. There he is.
Oh, it is him. It's him.
It is daddy himself, Bill Alfonso.
It's my bestie.
Hey, Daddy. Kate, take one on Todd is Pod.
Where's your drink, Fonzie?
Bill, thank you for joining us again here on the Cocktail Hour with the Godfather of
the Extreme Cocktail Hour,
Mr. Tod Gordon.
We have so much to talk about. We have like literally 35 years of ECW. It's crazy that ECW has still, to this day, a cult-like following. It's absolutely crazy. Thank you, Todd, for making ECW happen.
Billy, honestly, thank the fans. I mean, 30 years later, they're still chanting ECW in other people's shows and WWF shows. Like, whoever heard of something like that? There was a time when everybody wanted that. Everybody. WCW had a character came out like a mascot, Wildcat Willie. WCW, and then you run around the audience going WC. I mean, we'll get to Bischoff on that later. But anyway, WCW, because they wanted to have people yelling their name. It didn't happen. Everybody who's run a new company since then has tried to come on, everybody yell XL, they all want to let people yell it. We never asked anybody to do that. And 30 years later, they're still doing it. You know what they don't understand, Bill and Derek?
Yes.
People think they're yelling ECW like, yeah, that is the greatest company ever. But you know what they're really doing? What they're really doing is they'll see a table spot or some great, angle or spot, and then they yell ECW. What they're saying is, we like this. We like this. We like this. And then they come up with ECW because that's who did it first. But that's their way of telling the promoters that spot right. That's what we want. We want what ECW did. They got the fans. We got them, and we gave them what they wanted.
Bill, do you still follow the current product on TV?
Yes or no. When I'm available when Monday Night Raw comes on, I'll watch a little bit of it. If it interests me, I'll keep watching it. But I got so much going on my own without being able, without watching everything else. And I should watch a AEW product because I hope what's the kid's name who runs AEW?
Tony Khan.
Yeah, I hope Tony Khan calls me because they said I met QT Marshall. He came to I was on the show with him. He said, "Oh, Fonzie, your name came up in a production meeting." So okay, what do you want me to do? He said, "Don't just relax." A month later, I seen QT Marshall again. He said, "Oh, Fonzie, your name came up again," and AEW for in a production meeting. So let's see if they call me. I would love to come and have her run in AEW.
Why are you stooging off QT Marshall, man?
No, he's my boy.
You stooged him off completely. His boss probably going, I never said that. Fuck QT Marshall. What'd you just do?
QT Marshall's a great guy. The reason I bring up the current product, Fonzie, is I didn't know if you had a chance a couple weeks ago. All Elite Wrestling did Anarchy in the Arena. They did something that was very ECW-like, and they queued up a song called Let the Bodies Hit the Floor from Drowning Pool. Did you get a chance to check that out?
No, I didn't. I'm sorry I missed it, but you can't.
Isn't that Triple H's thing?
People try to want to go like WWE wants to go to ECW arena and do some stuff there. Tony Khan wants to go to ECW arena and do something there. There's only one ECW arena, and that was with us.
That's true.
But wait, is it Let the Bodies Hit the Floor Triple H's thing?
It can be, depending upon.
I thought it was.
Yeah. But the reason I bring that up is it gave a lot of fans the ECW feel, New Jack's music, the use of actual songs. And I think that feeling is still resonating. One of the main reasons that's still resonating, part of what I want to talk about today with both of you, is the legacy of Sabu. The legacy of Sabu is really tied in the legacy of ECW. Sabu is so well remembered for his time in ECW compared to any other part of his career. Fonzie, you've been all over the world. You worked with Ric Flair. You worked on WrestleManias. You've done Puerto Rico. You've done Mexico. You've done it all. Did anyone ever measure up to the late, great, homicidal, suicidal, genocidal Sabu?
No, he was definitely one of a kind. I've never met anybody as cool, as hardcore, and then dedicated his life to professional wrestling, sports entertainment as we know it now. But he didn't like the sports entertainment. He was a wrestling guy. But Sabu was so unique, man, so unique.
And Todd, when Sabu enters the ECW arena in 1993 and becomes ECW champion within 2 shows, that epic entrance, like we talked about last week, he changed professional wrestling, did he not?
100%, and never got credit for it. and never got paid for it. I mean, jeez, Public Enemy comes out of the table. This was at a table. Sabu should have been the only person ever allowed to use the tables in ECW. That was a clusterfuck right there, to be honest with you. But Sabu was so unique and so innovative. The chair in the ring that was not used to hit somebody over the head was used to springboard himself to the top rope to the audience. I mean, into the audience. Everybody's looking at this guy like, what did I just say? I mean, people didn't even fight in the audience barely. Let him go off his chair to the top rope, flip, and he was the most unique, charismatic, insane, scary, greatest guy in the world you've ever met.
I'm sorry that he didn't get the recognition that he deserved while he was alive. It took him to pass away May 11th, Mother's Day, for him to get. Now there's hundreds of thousands, now millions of people that have been talking and putting Sabu over like he's the god that he is. He should have got credit for that when he was doing it. And he did in a certain way, but now that he's gone and we lost him, now we making him out to be a god, and he is.
And in typical ECW fashion, I learned of his death from Bill Alfonso. My first call was to the Sandman. I mean, that's the circle right there. It's like, yeah, we were all painting and we're all dying together at that kind of news. It's awful. And we had to be together to share that. Like, we couldn't, like, go national. It was just me, him, Sandman, and Fonzie. It's like,
Fonzie, when you hear the news, what runs through your mind?
Well, I had a text from RVD, who I talked to quite a bit. We do shows together and so on, and beautiful wife Katie. So I get a strange text from him May 11th, early Sunday morning, and the text said, "Hey, Daddy, we lost Sabu." So I read the text and I said, to myself, well, we lost Sabu. He's out somewhere on a 3-day binge or something. That's what I thought. But then it started sinking in me. So I called RVD, like, a minute later, and said, hey, what do you mean we lost Sabu? He said, we lost Sabu. And we couldn't talk. RVD and I couldn't communicate because it was so shocking. We expected it, but we didn't. Sabu wasn't a big drinker at all. But back in the day, he got in a Soma cake back in the day. If he would have drank, he would have been dead 25 years ago. But thank God he didn't drink. And I don't know what the cause of death is, so he's causing controversy right now as we speak because we don't know what's going on with his ex-wife. Who told me from Japan we're trying to find her, and we can't get an autopsy, and so he's sitting in the morgue right now. God bless him, until we can straighten all this out. We still don't know what's going on. Damn, this is breaking my heart, man.
and I feel the same way he did. He called me up because we lost Sabu. My first thought is, we'll find him. He's got to be in the hood somewhere. It's like, we'll definitely find him. He's going, no, 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 no. That's not what I mean. And my heart just sank. I mean, not again. As I said in my first show, I put up on my Facebook, honestly, my inner circle just got smaller. And that sucks.
When RVD texted me that, and then I called him and he told me what happened, that my first phone call was to Tod Gordon. I didn't want him to hear it, and RVD didn't want me to hear it on social media. He wanted me to hear it firsthand, so I called Tod, and he called Sam, man.
Derek, do you understand what that whole he just said to you?
Yeah.
It's like we are so close to each other, that circle.
Right.
That God forbid someone else should have told us that news.
Yeah.
We need to hear from each other.
Yeah.
That was hugely important.
Yeah.
30 years later, that was hugely important. That one of us not here on the internet or read or see it, that we were with each other and sharing that. That's big.
Todd, we know the last time you saw Sabu was at the convention in Philadelphia. Fonzie, when was the last time you saw him?
Las Vegas WrestleMania weekend. With the big WrestleCon for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. He was the biggest WrestleCon on the planet.
Yes.
WrestleMania weekend, and then he had they built it as his last match against Joey in a barbed wire match, GCW, and they asked me to come out manage them and stuff. I was so thrilled to be a part of his last. Who knew it was going to be literally his last match?
Bill, when did that happen? When did they contact
You
you?
call me Bill?
I did.
I never heard you say Bill.
Well, I'm trying to be professional. It's the Tod Pod. Come on.
All right, just call me Fonzie. All my friends call me Fonzie. Do you want to?
I'm not your friend. I'm your best friend.
Those knuckles to the forehead.
I'm your best friend. Fonster, when did they get a hold of you?
Okay, what's that?
When did they call you and ask you to be part of the match?
Oh, they called me like 2 weeks before and said, "Hey, Sabu, they're building it. It's his last match, and we want you to be a part of it, and Sandman too." So
They booked Sandman 2 weeks out too?
pretty much. So nobody knew we were going to be there. So when the match was announced, Sabu went out by himself, and he was in the ring. And then a couple of minutes, I come out, blow my whistle. I get a big pop. Sandman came out during the match. He had a big pop. So I am so
Really? Sandman got a big pop? That never happens.
Yes, he did.
As big as yours?
Yeah.
Wow.
Fonzie, what was that experience like for you to be a part of that in Las Vegas?
Triple or quadruple the experience because, who knew it was going to be his last match? Because he called me the day after he was with Todd at the ECW Arena and did that WrestleCon at the ECW Arena. He called me the next day, Sunday, and said, "Hey, Fonzie, that what they billed me as my last match in GCW, but I want to do one more. I want to do in Tokyo. I want to have one more match. And of course, I want you to be there with me in Tokyo." And I said, "Okay, great." So, you see these shirts back here?
Yeah.
I told you Sabu about it. It says hardcore, and it was going to say world tour, but since he passed away, we made it a Legends tour. So we wanted to do that one match. He wanted to do that one match, and he had it in him in Japan, but unfortunately, that didn't happen.
He said to me in the arena, he goes, I go, "You're doing your last match now in Vegas?" She goes, "I didn't say it's my last match. This is my last match. I'm not done wrestling. This is my last match. I'm not done." I go, "Okay." And then he goes, "Well, he's not going to say anything. He really doesn't want to talk publicly. But it's not my last match. I'm not done."
Fonzie, where can you get that shirt?
Well, you can get it from me on social media. It just messages me, and I'll send it to you. I ordered 100 of them. I've already sold 90 of them. I got like 10 shirts left, but we can reorder them. People love the shirts. Van Dam wore one last night on his podcast. People are loving them. I'm not hard to find. I'm all over social media. So just make me social media, and I'll be Garrett. I'll make sure you get one.
I appreciate it.
This be your address and all that. I'll get you one out tomorrow.
I appreciate it. Make sure you follow Bill and go get that shirt. And in tribute to Sabu at Alfonso Bill, I think we're going to put a pin in the Sabu conversation for now because now it's time to talk.
Wait.
Oh.
That now you can put a pin in it.
Now we can put a pin in it. I would like to also give a cheers because Sabu was one of the reasons I became and stayed a wrestling fan in the Philadelphia area in 1995. And getting to hang out with him one time at a 3PW show was quite the green experience. And I appreciate the time he took to hang out with me. And I appreciate both of you leaving all your thoughts on one of the greatest superstars in the history of this business. So,
one of a kind, game changer, Sabu.
now let's move.
Thank you, Sabu.
Did I manage you with that 3PW show?
You were at that 3PW show?
Well, I know I booked him. Did I manage him?
No, you didn't manage him, but we had a fun night with Jack Victory. I don't know if you're going to know this story, but maybe, I don't know if I want to tell. Yeah, fuck.
Tell me. Come on, dude.
Victory. I love Jack Victory.
So we were hanging out in the parking lot, and Sabu's back there, and it's Sabu, Jack Victory, Ruckus, and I'm forgetting somebody. It might have been Devin Moore. And all of a sudden, there's a passing of some things, and Ruckus turns to Jack and goes, "Don't worry, I got you one specifically for you." Well, we didn't know at the time was what the specialty was until we watched Jack on the apron for the tag match going like this the whole time. I'm the lunge up all the balcony, and we're laughing and we're giggling, and Jack comes to the back and he goes, "The fuck did you guys give me? What the fuck did you guys give me?" And Ruckus turns and goes, "Well, you got wet." He goes, "That's not how I want to get wet." So that was that's one of my favorite Sabu stories. Sabu just sat there just watching, and at some point Jack walked away and Sabu turned and said, "I liked your gimmick." And it was to Ruckus Claude. And from then on it was a very nice, chill night at that point in time. So that's my Sabu story.
Sabu and I shared certain habits. I'll put it that way.
Sure.
And he gave me the key to I was the only person there at every show. And the key was Winnebago. Because down here in trash, it's hard to do whatever you got to do. I was always going out to the Winnebago. He's like, "Where you going?" That's something. Sabu's Winnebago. They go, "The fuck did you leave with Sabu's Winnebago?" "Don't worry about it. Get back to work. I'll be there in a minute." Back in Sabu's, and he just came back and forth. Yeah, I love Sabu. Always will.
Guys, thank you for taking
Love Sabu forever. We
Yes.
know us.
Well,
One of a kind, definitely.
one of a kind and an innovator in this business. And speaking of innovation in this business, Tod is Pod is what the name of this show is, and we're discussing Todd's history in professional wrestling. And one of the
John.
yes,
Thank you,
one
brother.
of his legacies. And you two are so well tied together in the lore of ECW.
Forever.
First, how did you two meet, and did you click immediately?
Good, Fonzie.
Well, Paul Heyman called me. I'd spoken the last Thomas Pond show. I spoke a little bit about this where my contract ran out in WWF, and Paul Heyman thought it'd be a good idea. He told Todd about Fonzie and, with the angle come in to be anti-ECW and so on and so on. So I came in, and it was the first time I met Todd. And he was so gracious and great promoter. Some other promoters are fucking dicks, not too many, because the fucking assholes do not last in this business. You got to be pretty fucking cool to last in the business. They've got us 40 years in the business. So we click right away. The little angle we shot. Todd I was anti-ECW and Todd was pro-ECW, pro the violence and all that. And he wanted to stop me. And so we had some matches, and Todd used to beat the fuck out of me.
Hey, stop. You're
not wrestlers.
Can we back it up and tell us how we got there?
Yes.
Fonzie comes in to the ECW arena, and no bullshit, the smartest fucking wrestling crowd anywhere in the country. Everybody in there was a smart mark.
Right.
Smart to everything. They knew people's names. They just knew everything. They were smart. He comes in as a character that the Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission sent in to put a stop to ECW. You're waiting to go like, okay. He was so good at what he did. The fucking audience bought it. They went,
Yep.
you motherfucker. Was like, this guy's going, we're to kill this guy. We're all in the back, Paul, myself, Sam, we're they're buying him as a state commission representative. It's just a joke. It's a character.
Security walked me to my car after the matches because people wanted to kill me, literally.
After the first night, they're sitting outside with boards and sticks, and we're going, how did this happen? We had never thought ever that this would happen. We thought they'd all go, okay, it's part of the storyline. He was that good. They bought it. They wanted to kill Fonzie. The insurance, Fonzie must die. We're like, oh my God, we hit gold and didn't even realize it. We weren't even searching for gold, but we hit gold.
Do you think one of the major parts of that, there it is, the sign right there, Fonzie not allowed in ECW. Do you think one of the major reasons that the character worked is because Fonzie wasn't a cool heel? He believed in what was right and believed in what he was saying and wanted to enforce the rules.
Also, no one knew him. He had been a referee everywhere, and they thought about it. They've seen him 5,000 times.
True.
But no one knew him as a character. So when him walk in there with a different ref shirt than everybody else had, and saying we were from the state, and Shane brought him in because he wanted to do wrestling, and like, it just came across believable. And the first time he touched me, that audience were like, what? Him shoving me. They're going, wait, you shoved Todd like that? It's Todd's company. He's the commissioner. And from there, we just slowly but surely built the hell out of that thing. When he suspended me, the smart people were going, I can't believe this. Going crazy. Next show, I'm sitting in the crowd with the audience, bleacher bums. They're going, dude, they're all like, put their arms around me. I got reinstated. The place exploded like it was real. I went, oh my God. It's like, that was like, this thing's over. And we took that angle and slowly we're sure crafted it and built it all the way up to a year later, November. Remember, it was unbelievable.
And we used it like a shoot. We
Right.
treated it like it was a real thing, and that was much easier. Because I really couldn't do when I went from the heel referee, they brought me to straighten out ECW, and then they turned me into a manager. How many times you see a referee do promos and stuff? So I had a hard time when they booked me with Taz and Sabu and all that about doing promos. And then Todd said, treat it like a shoot, and I said, okay. Because I was thinking 1 take, 2 takes, 3 takes to do a fucking 30-second promo. Then Todd said, hey, treat it like a shoot. You're going to be at the ECW arena. Okay. Hey, Daddy, December 22nd, Bill Alfonso is going to be at the ECW arena. I defy you to show up because I'm going to shut the show down. I was 1 take Fonzie, just treated like a shoot, and that's
Fonzie. Yes, you were 1 take Fonzie. Amazing.
Fonzie,
One thing, when I said to him, treat it like a shoot, what I didn't get was they were out in the ring to tussle with him the first time. So he's going to tie me up. It had one of those freaking holds I couldn't get out of. What the hell? What do you call that?
the Taz mission?
No, Fonz. He stretched me. That's what it was. He stretched me.
Yeah.
And I'm going, Wait,
because two non-wrestlers, and we didn't know how to work a match, or and it made it more believable. It made it believable that I was, gonna shoot on Todd and he was shooting on me.
no kind of shooting on both. You stretched me so I couldn't move.
Yeah, I beat him up a little bit.
A little bit.
The growth of the characters of both of you run parallel to each other. And one of my favorite moments in ECW history is when 911 finally gets his hands on Fonzie. And the choke slam just erupts an arena. You took something that was so small, so little, and you made 911 look like the biggest babyface in the history of professional wrestling. And what 911 did in that building was he didn't do flips, he didn't do dives, he just chokeslammed people, and no one matched when he chokeslammed you. Did you ever expect to get that kind of heat in ECW?
No, not at all, because I had banned the choke slam. My first initial thing was, hey, I banned the choke slam, and then for some reason I unbanned the choke slam. That's when he grabbed me and Tod Gordon, everybody, he choke slammed me, and we got the big fucking pop. It was unbelievable. That's when they Todd and Paul Heyman decided to make me a manager.
Yeah, but you know what? I hated that. Nobody knows that. Again, breaking news. I hated that. We had built up an angle for 9 months. He was always up all 9 months. Finally, I was gonna have my chance to fight him in the arena. The big fucking thing, never remember. And they did the 911 choke slam to him. It was the first time anybody touched him the month before. And I was like, what the fuck? 9 months we built this angle up, and just the pop for the one night 911 choke slams was like, it took some of the air out of what I thought was the hot angle of this company at that time. I was really pissed about that. But, I do what I got to do. So I took the spot where I got knocked out and 911 came in, choke slammed him. But it shouldn't have been that way. The first person to ever touch him should have been me. Because he kept getting over on me, and I couldn't touch him. I couldn't get back. Wherever it was, you touch me, I'll suspend you. You touch me, and that last moment, was a swerve right there.
The cross,
Did you agree?
the birth of Fonzie with taps.
And when you did get your hands on me, the people loved it.
Yes, what I'm saying. They loved it when 911 choke slammed you.
They thought it was a shoot. The wrestling fans, it was kind of a half shoot, because you're not wrestler Todd, and we didn't know how to wrestle. I'm not a wrestler either.
Oh, we lost Fonzie.
Thank God. So let's talk about something interesting.
We'll get
Come on, Fonzie, come back. You can come back.
We'll be back, I'm sure, shortly. I wonder if his phone died. But that was very Fonzie to be in the middle of a story and then have his phone and have his phone cut out.
You don't even know, and I wanted to come back to tell the stories. How we all traveled together. And we'd be together for a year or 2 years on the road. And then all of a sudden, Fonzie would drop a bomb on us. Like, oh, I didn't tell you yet. I refereed that Lex Luger, Bruiser Brody thing in the cage, right? Like an infamous match. And we say, how did you not tell us that? We're together every weekend, driving from city to, like, you just dropped that now? He did that with like 5 different stories.
I mean, I've gone back and watched moments in this business and I look at the referee. Now, I was a referee, so I always paid attention to it, but I didn't realize until I got into the business how often Bill Alfonso is in these big moments in professional wrestling.
Ric Flair in Japan, it's a Bruiser. He did every big match. He came in, never said a word to us. He was low key. We're acting like we're doing him a favor. This guy was a star. He didn't even realize he was a star. He just wasn't a character yet.
What's funny to me is that Fonzie's back, and here we are putting him over. He doesn't even know we're putting him over. So we're gonna bring him back in, and we're gonna pretend like we did not have that conversation. Is that fair?
Sure.
Okay. So
Okay.
Fonzie, you're back. Already heard us.
Derek, I don't agree, Derek. I don't think he sucks like you do. I think he was great.
Yeah. He heard us. There it is with Giant Gonzalez El Gigante in Japan.
It's hard to make the cover of the largest sports magazine on the planet. Hey, Todd, you knew this, but did you know that I was a personal assistant for the largest athlete on the planet for 3 years?
I did. I've sat in locker rooms with you, and you've told this story, and it's amazing to me that you did everything with him for 3 years.
Well, let him tell you the biggest thing he did.
The biggest thing,
Bill, it's out there now. Tell your story. Go ahead.
There with the girl?
Yes.
Okay. So Giant Gonzalez, they put me with him in WCW, and then we went to WWF. A guy named what was the Pizza Hut manager's name?
Kid Fry.
No, he came into WCW to try to
Jim Herd.
He's not part of the story. Who cares?
Jim Herd.
Jim Herd
came in and tried to. He said, "Oh, I'm going to cut the budget because WCW was spending multi-millions. They're spending Ted Turner's money, and they wanted me, Giant Gonzalez, to take a pay cut." And we said, "Hey, no," and Giant Gonzalez said, "Hey, what's my options?" I said, "Well, you can go to Japan and wrestle in Japan, or you go to, back to Argentina and play European basketball, or I can call somebody in WWF. You know somebody?" I said, "Yeah, I know J.J. Dillon. I was assistant booker for him and for Championship Wrestling." So I called J.J. J.J. answered the phone, and I told him the situation. I said, "Jim Herd wants to take us a pay cut. We don't want to do that. You think Vince is interested, and we're a package deal for the largest athlete on the planet and me to come in WWF?" He said, "Let me get back with you." 20 minutes later, the phone rang. He said, "Fonzie, when can you come up?" I said, "Well, anytime." So they flew us up the next day, first class, and we went to Vince's house, not to the office, and Vince hired us on the spot. He loved Giant Gonzalez. It was literally the tallest athlete on the planet at that.
Because, Fonzie told them, we're a two-package deal. You can't have the Giant without me. What? Who said that?
I was trying to secure my job.
No shit.
And I did. Vince said, "Oh yeah, I love it." So anyway, time goes by, and we're hired by WWF, and we're making big money. I'm almost making 1993. I'm a referee. I'm almost making $200,000 a year. That's fucking crazy, unheard of. Some of you guys don't make that today, but I'm proud of that. But anyway, so Giant Gonzalez and I never split a room. We always got our own rooms at the Marriott and stuff, and the girls loved him because he was a tall Hispanic, good-looking. He had the Giant's disease, but he didn't have it like Andre yet. Andre's head was protruding, his jaw was growing, and Giant Gonzalez didn't have that yet, but it was coming, and the women loved him. He was just a good-looking kid, Spanish kid.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was. What? It was beautiful. So we'd go to the mall. We'd have like housewives follow. They were curious about the Giant Gonzalez. So anyway, it'd be ordinary for me to get a phone call at 1:00 in the morning. Say, "Hey, Fonzie, would you go to McDonald's and give me 5 hamburgers and French fries?" That's my job, of course. So one night I get a phone call. We're in Los Angeles at the Marriott right there, the airport. He said, Fonzie, can you come to our room? I said, yeah, I'll be right there. It was like, he was in 207, I was in 204. So I go to his room, I knock on the door, and he opens the door, he's naked. And I said, hey, I'm expecting to go get, 5 hamburgers for him and this and that, whatever he wanted. So he said, Fonzie, I got a problem. I said, what's the problem, Giant? He's going naked.
He called him giant.
Oh. He said, so he opened the door a little more, and there's this beautiful girl in the bed. She looked like Pamela Anderson. She wasn't an arena girl. She was like a housewife. Anyway, thank you, Pat. He said, the problem. I said, what's the problem? He just, my dick is so fat, I can't get it inside her. He said, would you do me a favor? And I'm embarrassed. There's a girl, laying in bed naked, beautiful blonde. He said, can you come in and pump her for a little bit and get her wet, and then you leave? I was so embarrassed. And the girl says, please, Fonzie, can you help us, please, Fonzie? So my job that night for was to wet a girl for Giant Gonzalez. Soon as I wet her, I had to leave in Giant Gonzalez place. So my job was, prepping a girl for Giant Gonzalez. It was the coolest thing I've ever done.
Who's big enough schmuck to not give this guy a podcast? Seriously, his stories have stories. I'm just saying.
That's a true story. I know what you. I know that wrestling groupie. She was a housewife and beautiful, like Pamela Anderson. Said, please, Fonzie, help me. And I was so scared, but I did my job.
Fonz, TV's Derek has been in the same situation.
I have two questions.
Okay.
One is, did he complete the assignment?
Oh, yes, he did.
Okay. Two, what did she look like when she left? Like, she had to be walking funny, right? Like, there's no way to.
I don't know, because I did my job and I left, and I see ratings going, oh, Fonzie, thank you so much for, doing your VO. He says, that was unusual. Then they happen all the time. That happened once in 3 years. Gonzalez.
Fonz?
Yes, sir.
But you did still go out and get the burgers, right?
Excuse me?
You still did go out and get the burgers, right?
Oh, you damn right I did.
There you go. That guy worked his ass off.
You damn right I did. They paid me $200,000 if you take care of the largest ethnic on the planet. I would do anything they asked me to.
So you took care of her and you took care of him. So now actually,
very cool.
Now I got a wrestling question for you. That's a rumor I've heard forever. Was there any truth to the rumor that Hogan and Giant Gonzalez, after their big meet in 1993, was ever going to be a program, or did it get shut down immediately?
Well, Giant Gonzalez wasn't the best worker with size. He was terrible in the ring. He was athletic because he played basketball and that, but he didn't just get to wrestling and all that. But he was so big, it's hard for him to take bumps. But him and Hulk Hogan never took off because it might have happened if he would have stayed in good health. But his health started failing, in 93, and, he became diabetic. The disease disease was kicking in. He used to break my heart. He said, Fonzie, I'm going to die young. He used to break my heart when he told me that. I'm going to die young like Andre. The Giant's disease. There's a name for it, but I can't.
Yeah.
But can I be honest, Fonzie? Do you not tell me the same thing? That you were to die young? Did I not tell you the same thing? I'm going to die young. Did Sandman not say the same thing to both of us? I'm going to die young.
Yeah, 100%.
And here you guys are.
Middle age.
Not 10-year-old.
I can't believe I'm going to be 68 in August. I can't believe it. I my two brothers died at 17 years old and 28, and my dad died at 49. So I'm the oldest male in my family to outlive everybody. So I'll be 68. Congratulations, Fonzie.
And you're in the best shape of all of us, and you look the best of all of us. In all fairness,
Right, Daddy. The fat women in St. Louis love me.
He's got to stop fucking with alligators.
no, Fonzie's thing was with the posse, the four of us used to be on the road. His exact line was, "Dude, guys, it's okay. Just leave me the fat one. Whatever. Do what you got to do, but leave me the fat one. I'm good."
The fat blonde girls love me. I don't know why, but I like them too. They call me the Coney Killer because I would not fall in love with, but I would like the girls. The girl would come in and hang out with the boys and do all kind of sexual activities and all kind of shit, and I liked them. So I hung out with them and they became my friends, and I liked them. But they call me the Pony Killer. I was treating them too nice.
Well, that's a really big overstatement. The point was that there was one specific girl, because with the posse kind of thing, and you were always the fourth member of the event, and then you took her home to meet your mom, and then she was not interested in being the posse's girl, so that's why we called you the Pony Killer, because she was the pony.
Yeah. You gotta remember, I've been single most of my fucking life until I met my tall,
That's why.
beautiful wife recently, in the last couple of years, last 5 years. But I was single for like 40 years on the road. It was sensational.
And can I just say he's got a great wife, beautiful wife, and I was the only person at his wedding that was not family.
Wow.
Yeah, actually, Todd was my best man. My grandson and Todd were my best man. Via satellite for Todd. It was a wedding being a satellite.
That's awesome. Well, I got to ask now. You two have wrestled in the ring together. You've bled together. You've gone through tables together. You've been on the road together. How has your relationship continued on throughout the years after you stopped working in the same company together?
Clons?
Well, Tod Gordon was, for some reason, we clicked from the beginning of my ECW career all the way until the end, until it shut down, and we remained friends. And Todd really took care of me for some reason. We really just clicked, and I would do anything for Todd and vice versa. He made sure I got paid. He made sure, rumors that, guys would get shorted on their pay and the checks were bouncing and so on and so on. Not because of Todd. Todd was a legitimate guy, but, ECW was making $13 million a year, but we were spending $14 million a year to make the company go. But Todd always made sure I got taken care of. And we remained best friends to today. I talk to him once a week, and we text 2 or 3 times a week.
His mother, God rest her soul, knitted a quilt for my youngest child, my son, Charlie Bum Bum. She's, by the way, now 33, 34, getting married, has a wife who's pregnant. He's doing all this for his first baby. But back then, it's like 5, 6, 7. His mom knit him a quilt. Why? Because she was such a good person, and she knew he loved me, and she knew I loved him, and I still do. I always will. We haven't gotten to the whole never remember yet and how he built that up. But let me tell you something. He's got more stories, like I told you. Just for one, Fonz, tell him, you gotta tell him during this hour, the dusty roads story. Dusty Rhodes, big name. You in the car. Tell him the story. And by the way, do you know, he told us the story, I don't know, 3, 4 years after traveling together everywhere. He would just drop the story out of nowhere. We go like, Fonz, how the fuck are you gonna told us the story all this time? I don't know,
Where's
Daddy.
the American Dream and Fonzie?
You ready, Fonz?
I started with for TV wrestling in 1980, May 1980, and Dusty was Booker, and we get along great. Uh, so as time goes by, I'm doing my job, and I'm phenomenal at my job because I'm taught by the best, you know. And I was very good at picking up things. So anyway, um, West Palm Beach. We're in Florida, the territory, and every Monday night West Palm. Every Tuesday was Tampa. Wednesday was Miami. Thursday was Jacksonville. Friday and Saturday was spot shows, and Sunday was Orlando. And it would repeat itself week after week, month after month, year after year.
The Loop.
How the hell did we draw 2,000 people every Monday night, West Palm? How the hell did we draw 3,000 people every Tuesday night in Tampa and Wednesday? So, so Wednesday we shot TV, and we would drive to Miami and drive back that night because the next time we were in Jacksonville. So and the main event guys would fly, like, Dusty and Superstar Billy Graham and Ron Bass. They would fly. And so Dusty said, "Oh, Fonzie, you drove with who?" I drove. Oh, I drove with Scott McGee and Bill Irwin and Ron Simmons. He said, "Well, let them go early to their preliminary matches, and you can fly back with us. We got you a spot in the plane." So on the way back from Miami to Tampa, was unusual for me to fly. They were feeding me Jack Daniels, so I got drunk on the plane. You know what? We land, and I didn't. So Dusty's gonna drop me off at my house. I was so drunk from them guys giving me. I wasn't a big winter.
Fonz, let me interrupt. Derek, understand now. He's telling you a story that he told us 3 years after traveling with us every weekend on the road. Never brought it up before. This is starting to make us all like jam the brakes of the car. Go ahead, Fonz.
Excuse me, my beautiful tall blonde and Hungarian white ones asked me a question. Yes, baby.
I just want to see if you need anything. Hi, guys.
Hi, Christine. I could use a fill up.
What?
I could use a top off.
Oh, you need a top off?
Yeah, well, yeah, please.
Well, that's kind of why I'm here.
Okay.
Well, my glass is empty.
Yeah.
I really can't help you up there in Philly. Todd, how's the weather up there?
Just fine. That's fine.
No,
It's just
you saw in the news, tornadoes, all kinds of crap.
it's just waiting for your husband to get here.
I mean,
He has that date down pat. It's so funny. He's like the Rain Man. I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt the story. Fonzie, back to Dusty Rhodes. That's a great story. Go ahead.
thank you, baby. I'll have a cocktail. Thank you, you beautiful, tall, blonde, and Gary with a great ass. So we get off the airplane. I'm stone drunk, and I'm in my early 20s. So Dusty's got to take me home, give me a ride home. I was so drunk, I couldn't find my house. We found the general area where my house was, but we couldn't pinpoint my house. I was so drunk. So he says, "Fonzie, if you can't find your house in the next 2 minutes, I'm throwing you out of my car." So I said, "Okay." So out of the blue, I sucker punched Dusty as hard as I can. He's in the driver's seat in his red Ford big pickup truck. I sucker punched Dusty so hard, he got a little juice and stuff for me. And he pulled up to the 7-Eleven and threw my bag out and said, "You're on your own. Fuck you." So the police came and all that. I was drunk, and the police took me home for some reason. Anyway, that was my story. I sucker punched Dusty, but the next day I still had my job. It was a pretty cool story. I sucker punched Dusty.
Dusty was his boss. Dusty went out of his way to drive him home hours out of Dusty's way. Fonzie's passed out in the car, wakes up and Dusty's like, "Where the fuck do you live?" And Fonzie cold calls him like, "What?"
But it was their fault for feeding me the Jack Daniels. I wasn't a big right. I was in my early 20s. I wasn't a drinker. Now
The Sandman van, goes off the side of the road. We are all falling over laughing so hard. We're going, how the fuck do you never tell us the story? We've been together every weekend for like years. Out of nowhere, he goes, "I just thought of it, Daddy." That's Fonzie. I love him.
And I got a lot of cool stories. But Roddy Piper was Fonzie, Roddy Piper, a guy named Frank Goodish. Frank Dusick, from the Dusick, Wally Dusick and the Dusick family is one of the sons.
Frank Goodish was Bruiser Brody.
Yeah. So I got care about Bruiser Brody too. Yeah. I was just in St. Louis at the Bruiser Brody Memorial, the famous 1987 cage match where he was booked against Luger and he freaked out and Luger got, paranoid and left the match. But, that's pretty cool. But, so anyway, Piper's a Canadian. He's never seen the alligator. We're going to Miami. We're passing all these alligators on Alligator Alley. And he said, "Oh my God," he was freaking out because of the alligators. He said, "I wish I had a gun." And Frank Dusick said, "Oh, I got a gun in my bag." So we pull over. It's a 38 snub nose, this fucking big, and the alligator was laying on the bank on the other side of the canal. So Piper gets out and he wants to shoot the alligator. So he takes his shot. It's an impossible shot. He's done to it. So he pulls the trigger, the bullet goes, and he hits the alligator. The alligator starts selling and he crosses the wall. He clips over. The alligator's work. So Piper says, "Oh, I'm going to go get him." So it's like a 45, 50-foot canal across. So Piper starts taking off his clothes and shit. He gets naked and swims over to the alligator, and the alligator is working. So as soon as he get about halfway over, the alligator flipped over and started chasing Piper. You had to be there. There's a little more to the story, but it was pretty cool. That,
Hey, Derek.
Yeah.
You asked me who would be a good guest, to start this Todd Pod off. I said, well, how about Bill Alfonso? We won't have to say 5 words. Just let him tell stories. Like I said, his stories have stories. He's amazing.
I'm blown away by the alligator working. That's a new.
Yeah. The alligator got shot. Piper thought he was dead. The alligator crawled in the water was upside down. But when they turned over, started chasing Piper, looked like a cartoon. It was crazy. It was great. I was with Piper when he got stabbed. I worked for Jim Crockett, Mid-Atlantic. They changed. I was in Florida, and I had the referees get a lot of heat, so they traded. They sent me to Mid-Atlantic, Jim Crockett, and they sent Tommy Young to Florida, for about 6 months to let the referees cool down. So I was in. But anyway, I refereed a match between Piper and Sergeant Slaughter, and so they did a fun finish or whatever. So Piper was a heel. So on the way back from the ring, some fucking some black guy So some guy, a wrestling fan, got carried away, and he put out a little pocket knife, and he stabbed Piper in this area right here, in his chest area. And oh my God! So I get back to the dressing room and said, "Hey, Piper just got stabbed," and all the boys ran out there. Shit, but it's too late. Piper already got stabbed. They rushed him to the hospital, but he survived. But I was right. Piper got stabbed. Pretty cool.
Fonzie, when did you take your shirt off? I missed that. And why?
About 10 seconds ago, we were showing where Piper got stabbed.
Show where Piper got stabbed.
My brother, question for you. Please, will you come back next week?
Oh yeah, I'll come back next week. As long as people are, you're gonna be entertained because Todd is podcast. Todd is pod is gonna give you some fantastic stories. I'm not gonna be the only guest. You're gonna have all kind of guests, and we're gonna talk wrestling stories, which people love to hear. They've seen everything on TV and the ring and all that, but they want to hear the backstage story. They want to hear the road stories. They want to hear this and that, So that's what you're to get. With a great host, and Todd is pod. You guys are gonna have a fantastic time, and I'll come on as many times as you guys would invite me. I love it.
Just come next week and finish the stuff.
Oh, I will.
We'll do
And
it
wear a
again.
shirt.
I will.
Wear a shirt.
We'll do it again next week. Todd invited Fonzie.
Are you guys wrapping up? Or are you guys wrapping me up? Hey, don't wrap me up. I could talk all night long, Daddy. I remember since 1982, so
We're gonna put a pin in episode 2 right here, right now.
All right, wrap it up, Daddy. This is Bill Alfonso saying so long from the Sunshine State.
That's Bill Alfonso saying so long. Todd, we'll see you back next week here on the next episode. Todd is Pod. We gotta give one last toast.
Come on, Fonz.
Hardcore cocktail hour with the Godfather of
He's getting
Tod
it.
Gordon.
There it is. Thank you, Christine.
There you go. Make sure you follow Todd on Instagram and X at ECW Tod Gordon. Hit like, hit subscribe. Make sure you turn on your notifications here on the podcast, HateWrestling.com channel. Make sure that you're always staying tuned to Todd's social media, and make sure you pick up a shirt for Todd is Pod over at ProWrestlingTees.com. See you again next week. Make sure you drop a comment, hit that like and subscribe button right back here on Todd is Pod.